Yeah, we're going to talk about shoes. Shoes are so important. Like cycling shoes, so important. So important. So look, we're going to talk about clipping shoes here. This is some shoes that I had recently in New South Wales, Sydney areas that I had to escape the quarantine. So we had to leave our bikes and stuff. I got this sent down just recently. So I finally got some my midfoot cleat shoes back in there. You can see the cleats with the midfoot. That's just my preference. And these are the shoes I've been running. You see me in the Two Down Under this year, cruising around and making videos and stuff. I was wearing these, you know, trying to keep up and race people. Hey, they're thrashed. The sole's still good, sort of semi-midfoot. The sole is still fine for performance, but the upper, whenever I was pushing watts, you can sort of see this upper, this buckle doesn't fully clip in. One of them's broken, and it's just sort of like your foot lifts. It lifts out of the shoe, so it's like. But again, that's all I had. So I was like, I ain't gonna not, you know, get my fitness going in January, so I'll just ride whatever I got. And I rode these. People are like, why don't you just go and buy some shoes? Because I'm using the midfoot style, the drill mountain stuff. I'm like, well, these are better. I prefer this sort of midfoot style than a brand new pair of, you know, shoes. So yeah, these have been working for me, and my bike's sort of set up with that. But yeah, they're the carbon heel has got a hole in it somehow. Not sure that happened there. But yeah, this is what I got. They were in pretty good condition. I got it for $50 on Facebook Marketplace. And they're an S-Works shoe with boa dials. The boa dials a little bit wasn't so good. Sent an email to Boa, and they shipped a spare part internal in there, so I can recycle that. And so these have been fantastic. So $50 for a really, really top-end shoe. Stiffness, really, really good. Like good enough for Div 1. Good enough for Div 1. That's my criteria is it good enough for Div 1? Then it's good enough for me. You know, I ain't racing the Tour de France, so yeah, but it's good enough for power transfer for sure. Why I use mountain bike shoes versus road? Many reasons. One, personal safety. What if you have, you know, life? What if you have a run in, you know, with someone and you don't have the shoes on? Obviously, I got attacked from behind last January. Didn't really matter what shoes I was good, because when you get attacked from behind, you lose, pretty much. So especially when you think it was your brother or someone for attacking you from behind, you turn around with a smile on your face, saying, who's having a prank, and you get a coward attack. So it doesn't really matter what foot you got on there. But in general, you know, I've had situations where I'm wearing mountain bike shoes and I'll be able to control the situation, you know, because you feel more confident. And once a bully senses your confidence, they back off. All right, so that's probably one of the biggest reasons is self-defense. I do prefer mountain bike shoes. Road shoes, it's pretty hard to fight in road shoes. You know, even if you're, you know, I'm a kickboxer, so I need to kick, and if I've got road shoes on, you're losing all your stability there. Boxing's alright, but even then, once you start scuffling around, you're going to slip over. These are still very, very slippery. I mean, they get some foam out of space. And so, first of all, big reason I use mountain bike shoes. One, self-defense. Two, comfort. Walking around, do a lot of tree climbing, adventuring. More of an adventure rider. It's just more comfort, safety as well. You can just walk, get better traction, jumping fences, jumping around. Just, you know, it's just more comfort. Walking supermarkets, cafes, the driveway, stairs. When I go up and down stairs at home, it's just better comfort there. And which is also safety as well. You can, you know, not slip as much. Another thing as well would be durability. Got it going. I had to really get to that recycle bin. We just do real-time videos here. Real-time videos. This ain't professional. This is real. Always try and keep it real. Professional's fake. Real's real. I prefer real. It's all good. Durability just lasts longer. Cleats last way longer. Also, there's no chance of a plastic cleat snapping on you, things like that. They're just, yeah, more dependable. Weight-wise, okay, so this is the negative, is that they generally do weigh a little bit more than a road shoe. Typically, road shoe and pedal can be a bit, is typically lighter. You know, money for money, level for level, is typically lighter than a mountain bike setup. But we're not talking full game changer weight here. You know, you can lose. You know, I've never ever been dropped, you know, because of my mountain bike shoes and pedals. And I'm using stiff mountain bike shoe pedals. Like some mountain bike shoes have laces on there. You can bend them like a banana. They're cool for walking around in. You can probably run in them. but their performance, you're going to lose a little bit of performance there. For me, these, I don't really lose any performance. The weight-wise, yeah, if I was going for every single second, if I was a Tour de France rider, then definitely I'd use your road shoes. Because again, you could, you don't need to walk. It's just, yeah, it's fine. Every second matters in the Tour de France. Every second matters in the Tour de France. And so I definitely would go road there because you can just save, over 3 weeks, save a lot of weight there. Not a lot, but enough weight where it matters. It matters in the Tour de France. But otherwise, this is why I use road shoes. This is why I use mountain bike shoes instead of road shoes. So if someone says to you, oh, you get a road bike, you need road shoes, you don't unless you're going for the Tour de France. Right? If you're training for the Tour de France, then yes, road shoe, the lightest possible road shoe because you're training and you're racing and every single second matters. For me, it doesn't. I ride, 100, 200, 300 Ks a week or whatever. I beat most people out there. And the guys who can beat me are generally, training to be professional riders, in general. Or could be pros, at that level, which the level's pretty deep. So for me, that sounds a bit arrogant, but that's the reality. I've never ever seen anyone be held back by a good quality mountain bike shoe. So that's why I use mountain bike shoes. It's just more practical, more pragmatic. And, I've raced Div 1, road shoes, mountain bike shoes. Couldn't tell the difference personally. Couldn't tell the difference in Div 1. But at Tour de France level, where 3 watts, 4 watts, of extra dead weight can really, really matter, So I would say a mountain bike shoe versus road shoe setup at the pointy end of it, I would say, if I could guess, I would say a road shoe lightest combo out there would save you potentially 3 to 5 watts, I would say, at your very, very peak level. 3 to 5 watts. So 3 to 5 watts for me, it don't mean much for the convenience of mountain bike. Now, have I done those studies in the lab? No, I don't think anyone's done that. But that's, if I had to assume, that's what it would be. Which 3 to 5 watts is a lot. That's a lot of difference when you're at the top. 3 to 5 watts is like on a half-an-hour climb. That's like a couple seconds there. You got to pull away from someone. All other variables considered. So that's, at that level, that's a big deal. So that's why I don't use road shoes anymore, because I ain't chasing that 3 to 5 watts over an hour or 3 weeks or whatever. 3 to 5 watts over 3 weeks is a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, hopefully that helps. That's why I use mountain bike shoes versus road. Just more pragmatic, man. They're cheaper overall long term. They're easy to walk around in. There's no real world loss of performance. And I love it. I love it as well, because when you've got road shoes on, it's like, oh yeah, you got road shoes on, you want to be a Tour de France racer. Okay, cool. But when you got mountain bike shoes on and you do well, people are like, wow, this person's really fit. And if you don't do well, they're like, hey, it's just a mountain bike, he's just riding for fun. Or she's riding for fun. But when you got road shoe on, there's an expectation to performance. And if you don't perform, it's a bit like, Yes, when I rock up my mountain bike shoes, when I rock up with these and I'm flogging dudes with brand new white Shimano shoes or whatever, or Bonts or whatever, S7 or SX shoes, and I'm flogging them. I've got these, look at this thing dangling, man. I'm beating guys with these. It's like, Durianrider, get him out of here, get him out of here. It scars people. Imagine that. Imagine right behind that and just seeing those and just bouncing up and down there. Pick little heels. That dirty pair of heels there. You're going to get, it's going to be crushed, man. These shoes have done a great service. I love wearing stuff out as long as it's safe. That's the deal there. You don't need road shoes unless you go after Tour de France. But hey, and they use whatever you want. Just let you know what I use.